Hey guys, and welcome to a brand new video here on FPL Now, your #1 source for tips, tricks, and everything you need to know for Fantasy Premier League football. Today, we're going to be going over an updated wildcard draft for Game Week 12. So, if you're excited for the video, as always, make sure to drop a like down below. Leave a comment, who are you bringing in this week, who are you taking out. Subscribe if you're brand new. Let's get into the video. So, starting things off, this is my updated Game Week 12 wildcard draft. Now, I think this could potentially be one of the best teams you could have right now at this point in the season, so I'm only doing the one draft because I don't think there's that many that are better than this. You could make a couple of alterations, like there's no Spurs players in this, so you could maybe drop Ronaldo down to Kane if you really wanted to, but this is the draft that I think I would love to go with if I was on my wildcard. So, starting in goal, we have Foster and Gaeta. So Foster is in there just because he's a very, very cheap keeper. He's starting every single week, and he's just there for backup, really. So they've not got the best fixtures coming up, Watford. They've got United, then Leicester, then Chelsea, then Man City. But then they've got Brentford, Burnley, Crystal Palace, and Wolves. But again, you're not really going to be playing Foster that much. The only time you would play him would be when your main keeper, which in this case is Gaeta, is playing like a City at home or a Liverpool away or somebody like that. So yeah, Foster is there just for kind of bench fodder, but you know, he still can come in and get some nice points. I mean, he saved a penalty at the other weekend, so yeah, he can get some nice hauls. But yeah, coming in as our main keeper is Gaeta. So Crystal Palace are playing really, really good football at the moment. And they've got some nice fixtures coming up as well. They've got Burnley away next. Then they've got Aston Villa at home. So we don't know how good Villa are going to be now that Stevie G's in charge. I think he's going to sort them out completely. But at the same time, is that still going to be like a clean sheet potential? Yeah, of course, because Villa just haven't been that good this season. We'll have to see what happens, but you'd like to think a clean sheet is going to happen with Burnley away, even though they have been scoring quite a few goals, but Crystal Palace are just so solid at the back now. And then Leeds away, which again, yeah, Leeds have been good going up front, but we'll have to see what happens in that game. Then they've got United, but then they've got Everton, Southampton, Watford, Tottenham, and Norwich. So some really, really nice fixtures over there. And honestly, whenever they have a red fixture, they kind of have a nice couple of green fixtures after that. So you got Liverpool at home, but then you got Norwich and Brentford. Then you got Chelsea at home, but then you got Burnley and Wolves. Then you got City at home, then you got Newcastle and Arsenal. Like, it's not a terrible run of fixtures till the end of the season for Gaeta. So yeah, if you are struggling with a Sanchez in goal and you need to get rid of him, then I think Gaeta is a really, really good option to bring in for him. Coming up the back, we have Cancelo, Trent, James, Johnson, and Livramento. So all of these players are playing every single game at this point in time, which is why they're all on the team. So we've got Cancelo, who's now got up to 6.5. I can only just afford this team, by the way. I have nothing in the bank. So yeah, with any price rises and stuff throughout the week, you wouldn't really be able to bring all of these players in unless you already own the likes of Cancelo or James or, you know, Trent or whatever. But yeah, Cancelo, 6.5 mil. I mean, yeah, City's just one of the best defenses in the league this season. They've got Everton at home next. West Ham will be a tough one, but then they've got Villa, Watford, Wolves, Leeds, Newcastle, Leicester, and Brentford. Like, you really want a nailed City player for these fixtures. Of course, it is over the Christmas period where, as you can see, there's like a few games within like a couple of weeks. So that's not great because there will be a lot of rotation, especially with City players, because they've just got so many players, talented players as well on the bench. Like Cancelo could come off and then, I don't know, like Zinchenko could probably play there or something. I'm not really sure. The thing about Cancelo is he can literally play right back or left back. So it allows him to, it gives him more of a variety, really. So yeah, whereas if you have like Kyle Walker, he can only really play right back. I mean, he can play centre back if need be, but he's a right back. And then you've got Trent. Trent is just on here just because, I mean, he's one of the best players in FPL. And they've got some nice fixtures coming up as well. Like Arsenal's a tough fixture. I mean, that should be red at the moment, but then they've got Southampton, Everton, and Wolves, which again should all be green. And then Villa, Newcastle, Tottenham, Leeds. Like, they've got really, really nice fixtures coming up. So yeah, Trent has to be on this team. James is just a really, really fun player to own at the moment. Chelsea's fixtures aren't the best, but I mean, Leicester away, I mean, Leicester aren't really good, that good this season. United at home, we'll see how they're playing. Then Watford, who literally just haven't kept a clean sheet all season. And then West Ham, but then they've got Leeds, Everton, Wolves. So yeah, the fixtures are kind of all over the place at the moment, especially with like a lot of the fixtures. Like for West Ham, that should be red for like every team, whereas Everton at the moment I'd say is like grey for every team. It should be like Villa at the moment should be green unless Steven Gerrard sorts them out. Like Brighton, I would say is red for some teams as well because Brighton's playing well this season. So yeah, the kind of colour of the fixtures are all over the place this season. But yeah, James is in. The only problem with James is, again, he's not guaranteed to start every single game week. I mean, Tuchel would be silly to not start him every single game week because he's just probably the best right back in the Premier League at this moment in time, even with the likes of Trent and Cancelo and stuff. I just think James is just ridiculously good going forward. He was creating so many chances against Burnley and was really unlucky to only get 7 points. But yeah, because of the likes of Azpilicueta, he is likely to get benched, especially over the Christmas period. Whereas you've got Chilwell, who, like, they don't really have anyone else that can play left back because Alonso is out injured for however long. So yeah, Chilwell's a safer bet, Rudiger's a safer bet, but James is just so fun to own at the moment. Then you got Johnson as well, the West Ham fullback. I mean, they've got Wolves away next, then City, Brighton, Chelsea. Like, you're not really going to be playing him, but I would love him for this amount of fixtures. Like, he's probably going to get rotated a little bit with Soufal over the Christmas period, but he seems to be starting every single game instead of Soufal. Like, as you can see, he started against Liverpool, Villa, Tottenham, and Everton when Soufal got injured. But now that Soufal is back, like, Johnson is still playing every single game. So yeah, probably will be a bit of rotation with Soufal over the Christmas period, but West Ham's fixtures are just so good that yeah, he's just a really good option. And then Livramento as well. I mean, he's injured at the moment, but he's just starting every single game. He is only 4.5. I mean, he has got up quite a bit. Like, if you are going to bring in Johnson or Livramento, personally, I would bring in Johnson. He's a lot cheaper, and the fixture run that West Ham have got coming up soon is really good after the likes of the Chelsea and the City game and stuff. But we saw what they did to Liverpool, so they can easily beat Chelsea, and, well, not easily, but they are capable of beating Chelsea and Manchester City as well. But yeah, Southampton's fixtures are kind of all over the place at the moment. Like, they've got Norwich, which is great, but then they've got Liverpool, they've got Arsenal coming up, West Ham coming up, like quite a few tough fixtures. But yeah, he's obviously just bench fodder at this point. And then you've got Gallagher coming in midfield. Again, Crystal Palace's fixtures, like we just saw with Gaeta, really good. You've got Burnley, Villa, Leeds, United, Everton, Southampton, Watford, Tottenham, Norwich. And this guy's just in form at the moment. Like, you could bring in Zaha instead if you really wanted to, because he is on penalties, but Gallagher is just cheap. You know, he's under 6 mil. I could see him going up to 5.9 by the end of the international break, because we're only halfway through that at the moment. But yeah, Gallagher is just a really nice option. There's a lot of players around that price range that you could bring in. You've got the likes of Smith Rowe, Gallagher, and Mbumo. Like, all these players are really good. Well, Mbumo hasn't really been returning at this point, but he's been getting really unlucky. Like, he scored an offside goal in the last game week. He's hit the post so many times this season. Like, Brentford are kind of, I don't know, they're kind of hit a rock at the moment. They're in a bit of a rocky patch at the moment. You know, the Burnley and Norwich, like, they lost both of those games where you'd be bringing in the likes of Tony and Mbumo because you thought they would guarantee to win those games. So yeah, they're kind of all over the place at the moment. Rafinha up next. I mean, Rafinha is, I mean, he's not got the best fixtures. Like, Tottenham, probably not going to be that good coming up next because of Conte. Then they've got Brighton, Crystal Palace, Everton. Like, Crystal Palace are good at the moment. Everton, you'd like to think he could score in that game. Brighton's tough. But then they've got Chelsea, City, Arsenal, Liverpool. So if you really wanted to, you could downgrade Rafinha to an Mbumo or something, which gives you a little bit more money to maybe upgrade somebody else. But I just like Rafinha because whenever Leeds score, he seems to be involved in it. We've got Salah coming up next. I mean, he's just... The thing about Salah is when he goes to the African Cup of Nations, it's really bad because he could be out for like 3 to 4 game weeks. So what do you do with that, like, in that situation? Because he's 13 mil at the moment. I mean, most people brought him in for 12.5 at the start of the season. So you will be able to sell him for 12.7. But then you need to get like an extra 0.3 back to bring him back in. Now, he probably will go down in price to 12.9 when he goes off to the African Cup of Nations because he's not going to be playing any games, and you don't really want to bench a player which is that much money for those fixtures. So I think what most people will do, and what I'll probably do, is I'll downgrade Salah to Bruno Fernandes because obviously United's fixtures are just so good over the time that Salah is away, and then just upgrade him back up to Salah when he comes back from the African Cup of Nations. The bad thing is he plays for Egypt as well, who are kind of one of the better teams in the competition, so it's not like he's going to get knocked out straight away. So yeah, I mean, they've also got Mane going off as well. So the up front for Liverpool is going to be really interesting during that time period because Firmino's out, Jota's obviously available, but yeah, Firmino's not back. Like, who are they going to play up front? They're probably going to end up playing like Origi up front and maybe like Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain or something like that. It's going to be an interesting one, that's for sure. Smith Rowe coming up next. He does have Liverpool next, which isn't great. And then Newcastle, United, Everton. Again, Everton isn't a red fixture at the moment. I wouldn't even say United is. I'd say United is a grey fixture at the moment. Then Southampton, West Ham, Leeds, Norwich, Wolves. Like, he's just been popping off. You know, he's just got his England call up as well as Gallagher. They're just in fine form. Arsenal are playing really good football at the moment, which is kind of crazy. At the start of the season, you'd never expect to say that, but they are. And then we've got Foden as well, 8.3. Again, he's just got some really nice fixtures coming up. Again, over the Christmas period, will get rotated heavily because it's just City and they've got so many options. That's the bad thing about having these players for these like premium teams, because their squad depth is so big, you will get a lot of rotation. Whereas if you're bringing in a player like Gallagher, he's probably going to play every single game because Crystal Palace don't have these incredible players to bring on instead of him. The same with like Rafinha. Like who's going to play instead of Rafinha? Like Rafinha has to play every single game. Coming up next, we have the up front two, which is, well, we have this Brighton striker. He's just that you could literally have any 4.4 mil striker. We got Ronaldo and Antonio. So Antonio, yes, has some tough fixtures coming up, City and Chelsea, but you really want him for these fixtures here. Like, you're kind of holding it. Like, if you didn't sell him for the Liverpool game and you held him, you're obviously going to hold him now. You wouldn't sell him for Wolves, obviously. Like, City away, like, they are capable of scoring in that game. He did score for Jamaica as well. His first goal for Jamaica. He's played 2, scored 1, which is really cool. But then Chelsea, again, is a tough fixture. But then you're going to have him. You don't have to think about any transfers for this whole run here. You don't have to waste any money because he's 8.1 now, 8.2, something like that. So yeah, the fact that a lot of people would have bought him in for around like 7.8 or even 7.5, people that have held him for this long, yeah, to then bring him in again, it's a lot more money. So yeah, Antonio's in the squad, and then Ronaldo as well. Like, they've got a really nice fixture against Watford next, which again have not kept a clean sheet this season. Chelsea away, yeah, he probably won't do anything in that game. We'll have to wait and see. But then he has Arsenal, which, again, probably a tough fixture. And then Crystal Palace, Norwich, Brentford, Brighton, Newcastle, Burnley, Wolves. Like, Ronaldo is just a really, really good player for all these fixtures. Again, you could downgrade Ronaldo for the likes of Kane and play Kane instead. That would give you a little bit more money. He is 12.2, did just score a hat-trick against Albania. He's playing really well internationally. And they've got some really, really nice fixtures coming up. Leeds, Burnley, Brentford, Norwich. Again, if you do want a Spurs player, I completely understand, because their fixtures are just so good. Like, apart from Liverpool, they've not really got any tough fixtures up until like game week 22, which, you know, that's what you want. So yeah, I mean, you could do that. They'd give you 0.2 in the bank. It's not a lot of money. Again, you could also get rid of Rafinha to get a little bit more money and then change someone else to maybe like another defender if you don't like Johnson. But yeah, that's my game week 12 wildcard draft. I quite like this team. I think this will get you a decent amount of points over the next few fixtures for sure. Again, the Christmas break is going to be a tough one. There's going to be a lot of stuff happening with it. So yeah, we'll be doing like loads and loads of videos for that, so don't worry. But yeah, it's going to be hectic. Like, there's so many game weeks going over in that short period of time, so it's going to be a lot of benching, a lot of maybe injuries as well, because they're just playing so much. We'll have to wait and see. But anyway, hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, drop a like, leave a comment, subscribe if you're brand new. Thank you so much for 700 subs. We're closing in on 750 now, so yeah, if you haven't subscribed yet, please do. It really helps out. But that's everything from me. Have a fantastic rest of your day, and until next time, peace.